Hi guys, it's Alfie back again with another video. We're with Hollie, who's a Tottenham fan. How are you doing?
Right. I'm all right. I'm good. I'm happy you've invited me back on. So cheers for
Oh.
the invite once again.
Yeah, so it's a big game for both of us since we want to win a trophy, of course. So, how confident after getting the 3 points? I know it's a West Brom side, but you're building confidence up. So, how are you feeling going into this game? Where James might be a doubt and Pickford, we don't know, but James is the playmaker. So, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling a lot better considering the form that we were on. Obviously, dropping those points against sides where I was thinking to myself, if we actually went out there and decided to do something with the ball, we probably could have given them a good game. But to actually go out on Sunday, manage to be like, right, these are bottom of the league. We've actually got to show some intent to want to score here because I don't think we've really had that in recent weeks. And if we
Yeah.
have, I haven't really seen it. So to get those points against West Brom, and like I said, we'd be even more in the mud if we didn't. So it was good to get that. And like I said, you just put it brightly, to build momentum. And I think right now, both of us are kind of at the same kind of point in a sense that both our seasons are kind of going down the same route in a sense where
Yeah.
Tottenham are flying high, Everton are flying high, something happens and we just crash and then we try and pick it back up again. So
Yeah.
I'm a lot more confident, but I wouldn't say I'm overconfident.
Yeah, so we'll go into the team news then. So Jose said Search will probably won't play, but he said that he was checking him in the early afternoon after his press conference. So we'll see how that plans out. Lo Celso's out. Reguilon is definitely out. Dele Alli has trained with the team. Jose doesn't know whether to put him in the squad straight away, but he hasn't been training for a couple of weeks, so it probably won't happen. For Everton, Allen is not back, so you'll be glad. James is a doubt. I hate you. James is a doubt, and Pickford is a doubt. So hopefully James is back for the game because he picked up a slight knock after the United game. He made a big impact for that United game for the second goal. So hopefully for back, but not for your point of view at all. So talking about Kane then. I didn't expect him to come back this early after his histories of ankle injuries. So how massive is that for you?
It is huge. And I think the thing I've kind of got to put into perspective at the moment is I think to myself, the man that's running our club at the moment is Jose. And he is the man of mind games. So when I saw that he was prospected to be back into the squad for the West Brom game, I was kind of thinking to myself, now, has Jose forced Kane back early, or has he actually said to himself that he's only going to be out for 2 weeks? So we'll say it's 4 to 6 to play those mind games again. But it's evident that at the moment, if we don't have Kane in the squad, we're pretty much nothing. And I think that's evident with the likes of Sonny as well, because I think Sonny hasn't been up to his best since Kane's been out. And now that Kane's back, him and Sonny are both flying on cylinders. So, yeah, I'm very pleased that he's back in the side to play you lot.
You see, I could say the same thing about DCL when he goes out injured like this season. I think we rely on the players like Kane and DCL too much in a way because Kane, he's a good partnership with Son and DCL's a good partnership with James, Richie, all of that jazz. And I just think with Kane being in the squad, hopefully our defenders will be up for the fight. So who's your player to watch?
I would
Both
say
sides,
it's.
actually. Both sides.
I think it's in terms of the players you've got to watch. It's got to be Kane and Sonny because not only do they ignite each other, it's what they do in the morale of the squad. You kind of saw in West Brom, like we say, we joke, you say it's West Brom, but that was a totally different Tottenham side that we haven't seen in weeks. And the fact that we came out the way we didn't sit back, which was a first. We actually pushed on and we wanted to get that goal first and we wanted to get the second. So it's not just about the way they play and what they do on the pitch. It's more how they boost the morale of the other players on the pitch as well to do something.
So with Kane and Son being the ultimate duo back for the game, how does Everton need to shape up in defence? How can they stop Kane and Son?
You've basically just got to have a tight line because we saw against West Brom, the moment that we saw, obviously it was down to Davies dragging those two West Brom players across, you see that Kane's one side, you see that Kane's managed to pull a player across so he can find the ball from Højbjerg to slot in. And I think you've just got to be on your A game. And I think you've got to somehow play the low block, because not only does Kane score goals, he also manages to create them. I think a lot of people take him for granted in the fact that he's added to his gameplay that he can switch that ball through, or he can find that killer pass. He's not always going to be the one on the end of it. So I just think you've got to try and play that low block and just be aware that Kane can pop up anywhere pretty much.
Definitely. With the West Brom game, you beat West Brom. I thought you quite smashed them if you have a look at the stats. But in the game, West Brom had a goal offside, which was obviously offside. So, thing is about Tottenham is I worry about is Kane and Son, because they know each other dead well. So, going into the Everton game, who's your player to watch for Everton?
For Everton, it's a tough one. I mean, there's so many. Have you got what's his name? Is it Gomez?
Yeah.
I think in recent weeks watching him and Godfrey, like obviously the likes of our fullbacks in defence, I think you're going to play havoc with Godfrey, because what he's been doing at the moment is insane. And I think I'm just going to sit there and be like, we know this is going to happen. He's played so well for you lot in recent weeks. He's a person we've got to watch, because from Tottenham, when a ball comes in from the wide, as in a cross or from a set piece, we can't defend them. And if he's managing to whip balls in, getting down the line and doing that, I feel like we're going to be put under a lot of pressure. And at the moment with Tottenham, because we don't necessarily know who our best two centre-backs are, I feel like if Godfrey's pinging those balls in all the time or driving down the line and causing mayhem, I just feel like we're going to fold. And hopefully Jose has foreplanned this and he's on the same wavelength as, say, me. I highly doubt it. But nevertheless, hopefully he finds that he knows that crosses into the box for weakness and he cuts out Godfrey straight away. But yeah, I think Godfrey's going to definitely be one.
If we whip ball, like, is Tottenham bad at like aerials, defending in the area, or are they actually bad?
We're just generally bad at defending, really.
all round game.
Yeah, it's just we've got we've got Toby. Toby's quality, but the person to go with him, I don't think we've really secured that. I mean, Jose's favourite is Dyer, but for me, I don't think Dyer really has a presence in such that I don't think he really knows what he's doing at centre-back unless he has Toby. But then we've seen in recent weeks that even Toby can't manage to put him under his wing. And then we've got Sanchez, who against West Brom played okay, but I don't think West Brom really had a threat so much. And I feel like putting up against Hughes, I just think is going to cause absolute grief. So in the terms of perspective of Tottenham defending, it's more like we can't really win our aerial duels with the centre-backs that we have. And with the likes of Davies on the other wing, I think sometimes kind of loses his way a bit and doesn't actually manage to tuck in. So that's another aspect at back post when you're crossing in from that side. So aerial threat is definitely one for concern for Tottenham fans, I think.
Yeah, definitely. With DCL as a threat, we've got loads that can head the ball. We've got Michael Keane, we've got Yerry Mina, we've got DCL, we've got Ben Godfrey. The list goes on. And I don't know if you watched the United game, like what it said, we've got the most headed goals, 10. 10 have gone in. So how can we hurt Tottenham? Going on to that subject, or with defending and all that, how can we hurt Tottenham?
Exactly like I said, it's literally finding that killer cross through. I feel like we don't, apart from Toby, we don't really have a commanding presence at the back to be like, right, I'm going to take this header or I'm going to get rid of this. And even when we try and clear it, I don't think it's with much conviction either. I don't think we just kind of worry, because you can kind of see it in a lot of players in midfield and in the attacking role. You can kind of see that they don't really trust the defence, and I don't think anyone at Tottenham really trusts the defence. So you kind of see them playing in deep, and I feel like if you start crossing those balls in, you're going to see the likes of Kane coming back. And I say Kane because he's done it so many times. He'll come back and he'll try and defend as well.
Richarlison does the same thing, He gets up and down, because Lucas, as good as he is attacking, he isn't that good at defending. So it's kind of the same plan if we're going along, but we can defend crosses coming in.
Yeah, whereas we are the total opposite. I feel like sometimes it's more like I need to look away because I can't, because I am so adamant that a ball's going to go. If a cross is whipped in like it is, I'd pray for the defender's life, because it's just, I don't know, there's a lack of anything at the back at the moment with crosses coming into the box. And we've seen it plenty of times, because that's the weakness that keeps showing itself through set pieces or through crosses. Like, it's just, yeah, I think that's the way you're going to hurt us.
Yeah, definitely. So, what is your starting lineup against Everton then? This will be quite interesting because you've got players out like Aurier. Well, it might be a doubt like, but obviously, have you got much of a replacement for Dyer?
No, because I
You've
feel
got
like Dyer...
out, haven't you?
Oh, no, I think he's fit, but I don't know whether Jose will trust him. That's the thing, because he has been shown on the bench, but he hasn't decided to give him minutes. So I think with Tanganga, I think with Jose, it's more of a trust kind of thing. And I think I want to see Tanganga over Matt Doherty, because I do not like him. But
yeah,
why? His quality in recent weeks, this is the way I put it. So I feel like Matt Doherty came in, and at the start of the season, I was like, I do not like Serge. I don't think he's good enough. Since Matt has come in, Serge has upped his game and has made Matt Doherty look awful in terms of, there was a game a couple of weeks ago where he got a red card towards the end because he kicked someone up in at the halfway line, and you're thinking to yourself, why on earth are you doing that there? You don't need to do that. So for me, I think his temperament's a bit all over the place. So the fact that I'd now rather have Serge over the fact that at the start of the season I was adamant I didn't like him, and now I'm like, actually, you've grown into your position, and I definitely have you over Matt. I'd rather see Tanganga in there, just because we know he's got the pace, and I know he's got something against him, because his first game in the Premier League was against Liverpool, and I thought he did really well against Liverpool. So the fact that I don't know whether I can see Jose doing it, because I don't know whether he trusts him enough, and we've seen Matt now and again play, so it's a bit all over the place. But yeah, right back position is going to be one I'm going to keep changing my mind over, I think.
Really? So what would your starting 11 be?
So my starting 11 would probably be Lloris in goal. I hope he doesn't play Hart, because I just don't think it's a good call.
We'll fry from it.
So, I mean, I don't think it's a good call to put Hart in. So I'd stick with Lloris in. Again, right back is all over the place. I don't know whether Jose's playing mind games again with Serge Aurier. Who knows? So I'm going to say, on the basis of what I'd want, I'd probably want to see Serge. But if Serge is not there because this injury thing is true, I'd like to see Tanganga. I'd then like to see Toby. I'd then like to see Joe Rodon play. And then I'd have to choose Davies, because there's no one else. And then in CDM, I think there's going to be a combination of Højbjerg and Winks, I think. Just because Winks is the type of player just to shape things up. He doesn't really do a lot going forwards, but he'll retain possession. And I think if we retain possession and then pass to the likes of Højbjerg, I feel like sometimes Højbjerg does push up further. So to have Winks there to sometimes let Højbjerg have a bit more freedom towards the front, so be it. So I think it'd be a combination of Winks and Højbjerg. Then the Ndombele, and I think he's going to play, I reckon he's going to give Lamela another run out. He's going to give Sonny a go. And I reckon he's going to give, obviously, Kane up top. I think that's the way we're going to set up. Whether that is what he's going to do, who knows? But I think Lamela, especially in cup games, is very fired up. And I think we kind of need that from the off to not let it slip, because I think this is going to be a match where it's going to be very even. And I think to have someone in there that's just going to niggle at players and just be a bit like boisterous in your face, I think is something that we need from the off.
So what would we expect from that type of side? Do you reckon we'll face like a lead side who are very, very attacking, or just adjust to the game and see what parts are massive gaps and show Jose will say? Or do you think it'll be very defensive, because you're going to play the same formation what I picked, which will show you 4-2-3-1, is it?
Yes.
Yeah. So how would you think?
So I just think it won't be like the West Brom game. Sadly, as much as I loved that and it was great football, I feel like you're too good to be able to go out in the style of Jose. I think for me, I'd obviously love to see us go out and attack you, but from a stance from Jose, I just don't think he is. I think he's going to sit back and wait for that opportunity to arise. And I think the likes of having Winks, the player that will play side to side and backwards, I think I think it will initiate the way we're going to play. We're going to sit back and try and hit you on the break. And it's sad to see it because I think we're going to revert back to our old ways, but our old ways worked at the start of the season. So I think that's kind of the way we're going to go about it.
Really?
Yeah, I reckon so. I don't want to see it. Obviously, all Spurs fans and all fans of football want to see great attacking football, but I just feel this is another a cup competition we're in. We're in the final of one already. I feel like this is high on Jose's priority list, and I feel like he's going to play the way he knows, rather than like a side against West Brom that don't really have anything going forward. I feel like Everton is a whole different ball game.
Yeah. So I will be showing you So, guys, that is my starting lineup for the game. I'll show you one more. So, yeah, there's a couple of controversial predictions there because I think James, he needs to play as a 10 for this game for the simple reason we need to hit your defenders. Yeah, and I think Alex Hollie needs to have a good run as well because he's a massive skiller and can dribble past your defence. I know you probably don't like him, but he's boss. We've got DCL up top. We've got Decore. We've got Gomez. I think Davis will be dropped for this game. And I think Godfrey will come at right back. I think it will have to be Keane and Mina. I think Mina comes in for Holgate because Holgate, for the past 2 games, he's not up to himself. We've got Lucas at left back. We've got Olsen in goal. So that's what I think. It's very attacking, yes. But hopefully we've got the legs to drop back if Kane and Son attacks our attacking area and threats.
Yeah.
So it's very attacking lineup. So if that was the team, how would you feel?
Not great, not gonna lie. I know this is not gonna be an easy game. I think we're playing you not necessarily at the wrong time, but I feel like you're slightly flying higher than we are at the moment in terms of performances. I feel like we're just about trying to find our feet again. Whereas obviously that draw against United, you're feeling quite good about yourself. You know what I mean? So I think for us, it's probably just too soon, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I feel like I kind of knew that you'd be playing I feel like you're going to play a strong attacking team against us anyway. And I feel like we're going to be playing that more, let's hit you on the break sort of thing. Because I really can't see our defence coping. And it hasn't coped for quite a long while. So, yeah, I'm nervous, but I feel like it's Jose. And I keep going back to this point. And if there's a man that you want in competitions like this is Jose. So, yeah, I'm a bit mixed at the moment.
Yeah, definitely. So in a minute, I'll show you what your expectations for Tottenham, and then I'll give you my thoughts for Everton. But I'll show you in a minute, what's your expectations and where we are in the table. So I will show you right now. So this is the lineup. Well, not lineup. This is the table, sorry. Can you still hear me
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, cool. So this is the table. So City, United, Leicester, Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham, Everton, Tottenham, Villa, Leeds is the top 10. So looking at this table, Hollie, what would you think your expectations are?
I think everyone's expectations, especially for Tottenham, is top 4. At the moment, on current form, I don't know whether we're going to reach that. I think with the amount of fixtures we got in terms of cup games, and we're still in the Europa League, I feel like can have a massive effect on us. So in terms of right now trying to predict where I want to see us, I think I'd like to see us hopefully top 4, but I can't see it happening. So maybe about 5th. And then there's got to be a cup that's got to go with it, because I feel like if there isn't, I feel like Jose's job's definitely on the line, because he's brought in to win trophies. I don't know whether he's necessarily brought in to manage to reach UCL places, but as a Spurs fan and where Tottenham are, I feel like UCL has got to be something that we've at least got to be trying to hit each year. And I think Europa is probably going to be our best shot at that. I think at the moment, at the start of the season, and apart from recent weeks, I think it's been very open. And it still kind of is, because we're seeing Liverpool dropping points and things. But
Definitely.
I feel like, I don't know whether Tottenham have got enough in the tank in terms of that quality to be able to push it in the Premier League, along with all the other things we're involved in. So I'd say 5th. I'd be happy with at least a cup. And I'd love to see us win the Europa League. Jose says that he thinks and he believes he's got it in him to win the Europa League for us. So that would be a bonus, because that'll get us UCL anyway. So that is what I'd be happy with.
So my expectations, fellow Evertonians will probably say the same thing. I think if we win this trophy and get Euro, that's a big step for next season for Everton, because next season we're expecting the top 4 Everton sides. I know it's a bit crazy, like Hollie, but I think if we win a cup and get Europa, I think, and obviously we'll have a big summer, because I think we loaned out so many players, big high wages. So I think hopefully that will happen to us. And we've got 2 games in hand, like you said before. We've got 2 games in hand, including Man City and Villa away. We're playing Man City 3 days before the derby, which is it's an absolute joke, man. So hopefully that will not differ us the derby feelings. Hopefully we won't get beat by City, but I've got a feeling we'll get beat. But hopefully after that we'll recuperate and hopefully get into the red shite and fucking beat them. Because we haven't. Oh, I hate saying it. We haven't beaten Liverpool at Anfield since 1999.
But this is the time to do it, I feel. This is the time. Get them while they're down.
Definitely. Also, we haven't beat them at all, even at home, since 2010. So that was when I was 5 years old. So growing up, it's only been once. It's a once. How embarrassing is that? I hate it. I just hate to talk about it, but I just have to. So I'm expecting Liverpool to drop points, but I don't know why they're not playing their centre-halves that they bought in January. I think West Ham will be probably dropping points because they've been getting an easy run of games. So I think they'll be getting harder run of games maybe next month, because this month is Everton's hardest fixtures. And we've done well, to be fair. We've beat Leeds away and we got a point at Man United, which is very massive for us, because like December, we beat Chelsea, we beat Arsenal, we beat them type of sides where, all right, we're getting our confidence back up for the season going, and we're halfway through, and I think we're looking pretty decent. We're 7 games unbeaten away, and 4 of our last 7 home games in the league we've lost. So 4 out of our 7 games at home we've lost, which you'll be happy to see, Hollie. Which is, I mean, I think everyone's doing the same, because when teams go to places, they get nervous because of the fans and all that. But this season, everyone's away from is something else, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. You can see it all over the board, to be honest. It's not just some teams. I think everybody's kind of struggling with trying to play at home because there's no fans there. I think that's with every team.
So while we're on this table, then who makes it in your top 6? Come on.
Oh,
I know I'm putting pressure on you, but we've got to know. We've got to know.
Well, I think City are going to win it. I think it's going to be their year again, I think. Manchester United at the moment are high flying. Whether they can carry on that, because I don't think Ollie really knows what he's doing at the moment. I think he's just kind of winging it and somehow getting the points. So fair play to him, but I don't think it's going to last. So I don't know. I think it'll be Man City, Leicester. Who next? I think Liverpool, because I don't think we can underestimate them in the sense that they have got quality in their side. I just think because more teams now have got confidence to play at Anfield, I feel like they've kind of gone to shot at home. So I think City, Leicester, I think Liverpool will pull it back. I'm trying to think who else. So that's fourth, isn't it?
Yeah.
I reckon. See, it depends whether like Werner actually decides to find the net now and again, because I feel like once they've unlocked his potential, I feel like that it's so strange. The amount of quality signings Chelsea have, they haven't managed to really find the form that we all kind of thought they'd have. So maybe they'll pick that up towards the end. So I reckon it'll be City, Leicester, Liverpool. Hates me to say it. No, I said, oh my God. Leicester, no, City, Leicester,
Liverpool,
Chelsea,
United, Tottenham.
Tottenham, Everton. But I don't.
It's hard, you know.
It is. I don't think you can predict it.
Even below us, you've got the likes of Villa and Leeds.
I know. It's all over the place this year. That's what I mean. Like, I just think City will run away with it now. I feel like City have found their form, and I don't think if they drop it, I think they'll be able to pick it back up straight away. I don't think it's one of those where it's going to go all like that. I think they'll drop one and they'll come back up again. So I think City are going to win it regardless. Everything else is just all over the shop. I'm just kind of second guessing because in a flick of a switch, it could all go to pot again. So I think I'll just have to stick with City definitely winning.
Yeah. So my top 6 predictions is City. Oh.
So hard.
City, Leicester. I think United third. Oh, I know top 4 is a push for Everton, but so I said City, Leicester. Liverpool, United, Liverpool. So that's 4. I think
so hard.
Tottenham 5th, Everton 6th. I think Chelsea. Oh, the thing is, Chelsea got a new manager. Chelsea are playing good football, so Everton might have to be out. But same as Tottenham.
Yeah,
so it's neither Chelsea. Chelsea's defo in it. It's neither out of Everton, Tottenham, isn't it?
That's what I mean. I keep saying this. I feel like Tottenham and Everton are just running on the parallel.
West Ham will defo drop points when they find harder fixtures. Definitely.
I hope so as well. I don't want to finish below them.
So I'm gonna have a look at the stats for the game. Who you played West Brom, and look at this.
I know.
1.9 average goals per game with Kane, 1.2 without.
But the thing is, last year we managed to play without him, and loads of fans were saying we played better without Kane. And now it just shows you how we need him, especially right now. I think the fact that he's added to his game, the fact that he'll drop to find that ball to then pass it on to Sonny, or a drop to spray it out wide to then get in. I feel like that's really added to his game, and I think more so than last year, because I think last year he wasn't necessarily playing in that role, whereas now, like, the stats don't lie. I feel like now, because he's added that element to his game, it's almost like we've got a midfielder and a striker. And it was funny because the other night someone made the funniest analogy. It's like in NFL, you've got the quarterback, he throws it to the end zone, and then Harry Kane's getting on the end of his throw from the quarterback. Like, it's insane. He's doing the quarterback role and he's getting into the end zone. So it's the same kind of thing in the fact that not only does he create these goals now, he's also scoring them like he's always done. So yeah, it's mad.
To be fair, Tom just made a good point there. Leicester always bottle it at the end of the season. I don't know what to say. We'll know by the end of the season, won't we?
Yeah.
So with Kane, 56% win rate and 41 without. So we've got almost, well, over half win percentage with Kane and like 41 without. It's mental. And 1.9 points per game with Kane and 1.5 without. So let's have a look at the stats then from the game. 66 possession from Tottenham, 13 shots. I think that was something like, with the United Everton game, I think United had the same amount of shots as used, but against West Brom.
Yeah.
Tottenham had 6 on target, 8 corners, and 16 fouls, which we don't really need to know. So this was the lineup from Saturday, was it? Yeah.
Yeah. Sunday.
So it's like a 4-2-3-1, like I said, really. Would you play Lucas, did you say?
I said I'd play Lamela just over the fact that he'd get in your faces. But now thinking about it, I think he's rested Bergwijn to put him there instead. So take Lamela out and I'd stick Bergwijn in there purely because the fact is that I think Jose trusts him because he'll track back. I feel like Lucas will try and get back, and don't get me wrong, he's got a box on him and an engine in the fact that he'll sprint back to get it. But I think Bergwijn's at the moment more adapted to be able to do that box to box, whereas Lucas will do now and again. And I think that's also why we haven't seen Bale. I think Bergwijn gets in front of those two in games like this because his defensive work rate is a lot higher than those two. So to scrap my idea of putting Lamela in, I'd probably put Bergwijn in to start. So
this is an interesting question which I'm going to ask about Bale. I know Bale isn't getting a lot of game time. Is Jose's relationship with Bale good?
Who knows, to be honest. I feel like this is the thing for me. I feel like this was a signing not by Jose, but a signing by Levy, because all Spurs fans, like you see the one behind me, we've all gone out and bought Bale shirts for nostalgia. You think the amount of, I know, okay, a shirt doesn't sound like a lot of money, but you think of all the Spurs fans that have been brought up, I was brought up with Bale, have actually invested in a shirt for him. So I feel like it was more of a tactical move from Levy, but also in the sense that he's got the Euros coming up and it's probably going to be his last one for Wales, I should think. So if he's in Real Madrid, not really doing anything, sitting on the bench, is he going to be up to match fitness when he comes to playing the Euros? And I think the fact that he's back in England to do so, to try and get that match fitness, is probably a bonus. And who knows as well, he's got that bit of magic in him. When he scored, he's probably scored the best goal in the UCL final ever, that overhead kick. And that was just purely coming off the bench.
We absolutely loved it.
So that's what I'm saying. Maybe, I don't know, come the end of the season, we need that bit of flair. And I think at the moment, I think it's a confidence issue. And I think it's also the fact that he knows that he's got this Euros coming up that's going to be his last one. And you can see when he plays, he's not really going full out, because I feel like if he does get a tap and he's injured, he's going to be injured for quite a long time, because his history has been riddled with lots of injuries. And I feel like now is probably the wrong time for him to get that. So I think he's trying to preserve himself, I think, for the Euros. I could be wrong. Maybe we'll see him against Hughes, but I don't necessarily think it's the fact that he's fallen out with Jose. I think it's more so in the fact that there's players that are better at him in the sense that will do the job that Jose wants.
Yeah. So, would you see him as a feature against Everton? Do you think he'll come off the bench or not start at all? Or do you think he'll start, come off the bench, or he's on the bench but won't bring him on?
I think he'll be on the bench and he won't bring him on. I think there's been times in the season where I think he's been ready to come on, but something's happened, like an injury, and Jose's had to do something else. But I wouldn't say he's going to be the number one sub to make. I don't see it personally. I feel like Lamela's definitely going to get on, just because if the game's, I don't know, getting a bit feisty, I think Lamela's the one you want just to get in your face to put you off, sort of thing. So I don't think Bale will necessarily come on unless it's like we need a bit of brilliance here or the game's won. Do you know what I mean? I feel like it's more of you're not going to be the main sub sort of thing.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to show you Everton's last game against Man United, the stats from it. Let's put it on. So obviously I did say we did get outclassed And Gary Neville even said that was one of the best Man United performances he ever seen. See, like I said, Tottenham had 13 shots, United had 14, and this is a side who's better than West Brom.
It's 20
and
hours.
literally, you can tell United are putting in good performances, but their defence,
shaky.
Yeah. So United had 14 shots to Everton 6. Everton had 3 on target, which we all scored, and we were clinical on that night, luckily. United had 5 on target. United had 5 corners to Everton's 1. And United had 14 and Everton had 10 fouls. So looking at that, Hollie, how good does your defence have to be against Everton? Because we had 3 on target and we scored all of them.
That's the thing. This is the thing that worries me. I haven't thought for a long time that our defence is good enough. And don't get me wrong, at the start of the season, I thought we had brilliant squad depth, and I'd be lying to say to you at the start of the season I thought we'd be fine. But I feel like the cracks have started to show, and it's progressively getting worse in the sense that I don't think Jose even knows what his best back four is. I think none of us really know. And the way that you've managed to play that United game, and you were clinical, just frightens me a bit more, because I feel like at the moment it takes Kane, although we've said he's quality, I feel against West Brom he had to take a couple of chances before he found the back of the net. And if you're doing that straight off the back, it kind of shows that we have got to be awake, because that's another thing Tottenham tend to do. If they play the style of football I think we're going to play, we kind of switch off for 20 minutes, and then by then we're a goal down. So yeah, I am very concerned about the way that you held yourself against United. Not just in the way you attacked, but also in the way you actually managed to defend as well.
Yeah. On that night, we were a bit up and down with defending. We did have a goalkeeper error with Olsen. He slipped, but I think he would have got to that, but he slipped when he was diving to his left. I think Olsen's better than Pickford as it stands. So I'll show you these stats with Carlo I got from Toffee Blues. Carlo Ancelotti without fans and with. So with fans, we only played 8 because of COVID, obviously. But we won 5, drew 2 and lost 1. And we scored 11 and we conceded 7 with fans. And without, you'll see a massive stat here. 17 games, we only won 7, drew 5, lost 5. Goals against is right up, 22 from 7, and that is basically double the amount of games and maybe triple the amount of goals against, as you may see. Goals for, we've scored a lot more because we've got we played more games without fans, obviously, and our home form at the minute is not quite good, to be fair, because we've lost 4 of our. I can't even talk because I'm speechless at these stats. We've lost 4 out of our last 7 games at home, so that'll be a massive boost for Tottenham to come to Everton and feeling confident.
Yeah, but I think that's with all teams at the moment. I think you have to sometimes take those stats with a bit of pinch of salt, because I think if you look at every club in the Premier League at the moment, they probably have maybe not similar, but you could probably definitely see a drop in the games they've won at home, if you know what I mean. But it does fill me a bit more confidently in the fact that obviously home for you at the moment is a bit poor, but you can't really take that too much into justification unless you're a bit superstitious. So we'll have to see how it goes.
Definitely. I just made this starting lineup ages ago, and this is the team what I read out before. I think Godfrey will be pushing up that right-hand side for the simple reason. Who's on your left side? Davis and Son. Is it?
Yeah. They normally switch Sonny and.
Do they?
Yeah. So
I think Ben Godfrey will be pushing up with Iwobi whipping it in the box for DCL. I think James, he's got free room all around the pitch. Richarlison will be probably cutting in while Lucas is overlapping with Richarlison. And Gomez and Decore can push up if Tottenham are feeling worried about, defending. Because I think Tottenham will be like Harry Kane, you said he'll be properly dropping back. And our player to drop back is Richarlison because I think he's good at that. And Lucas will need some support. We just need to whip the balls to DCL. That's probably our game tactic for this game. And if Tottenham are attacking with Kane and Son, I think if we basically come from a counter attack and we've got no one at the back, I think Godfrey would be that man to, right, I'm here, lads. Like, basically, I'm here to defend. And I think Godfrey won't be overlapping with Iwobi because Godfrey isn't that good of a crosser. But I do think Godfrey will be pressing yous up a high line, so yous can drop back. And I think DCL will thrive off that, to be fair. Gomez is very good at pinging balls left, right, and centre, but I think he's not that attacking. You know what I mean? Whereas Decore can score goals, so that's what I think will be probably happening.
Yeah, I'm with you. I feel like that's a good shout as well. I feel like there's definitely, I think, in order for you to contain both Sonny and Kane, I think you've definitely got a player that's got to stop bombing down one side. And I think maybe Godfrey is that person to just pass it to Iwobi and let Iwobi do his thing, whereas the other side is the side you overload. So that's probably a good shout.
So we'll get into some comments now. Thoughts on Bergwijn, says Tom.
My thoughts on Bergwijn, I think he's obviously hasn't really got a goal in at the moment. I think his composure in front of goal, apart from that goal he scored against City, which we still to this day, I'm still in absolute amazement of it because it was such a class goal. But since then, we haven't really seen much from him in front of goal. But I feel like Jose is telling to him, we need to shape up in defence. And I feel like he's the one player at the moment in that position that will come and track back. And I feel like there's not a lot of players in our side that play in that position that will. And I think that's why Jose trusts him in the bigger game, shall we say. But hopefully, I think there's glimpses of him finding that dribbling thing, because we all know he's got skill there, he's got talent in him, but I think he just needs to unlock that ability to drive forward again. And I think it comes back to this defence. I think everybody's so worried about how shaky the defence is. When we actually get the ball, when we're in this system, we don't really know what to do with it, and players kind of panic. And I think we've seen that in that Liverpool game and in the games before the West Brom game, that's kind of the case. So hopefully we can kind of try and build on Bergwijn, because I still think there's a player in there. I just think right now in the system Jose's playing, he's not really going to show his best.
Yeah, Tom said an interesting question here. How is Lamela still at Tottenham?
It's a very good question. I think all of us Spurs fans have that kind of thought within us, because he's the only player that's still here after we used the Bale money, and Bale's now back. So it's done a full circle. So I don't know. I think it's just because, I don't know, I think it's his ability just to get in your face. And I think at Tottenham, we've been very nicey for so long. And Jose's trying to install this element of you can't be nice, guys. And I think maybe Lamela is the guy that's going around with the rattle saying, let's all be a bit mean. So I don't know. It's beyond me that he's still there, because I don't think he's good enough. But I think this is riddled throughout the whole of the Tottenham side. I don't think we have a squad depth that's quite good this season, but the quality's lacking. And I think Lamela kind of falls into that bracket.
Yeah, to be fair, I quite agree with you. Thomas says, who is the best player from both clubs? Then decide who is the best out of them.
I swear we've had this chat before. I'll go Kane.
He popped up. Let's go to another one since we've talked about it. Score predictions. Oh, here we go. How confident are you?
Not, to be honest. I feel like it's going to go all the way to pens. I honestly see that's how
that's what I said to a couple of people. I think it will go to extra time, but I think someone will nick it.
I think it'll be a stalemate for quite a long time. I think both of us will score. I just think it'll be the second or the third one. I think it'll probably be, I reckon it'll be 1-1, and then I think it'll go through to pens. I honestly see that's how it's going to go. But who knows with Tottenham defence? You can't really predict anything with them.
With this cup, who's going to win it?
Who's going to win it? Tottenham.
Really? I
Well,
mean, you've got City in the Carabao Cup, haven't you?
yeah.
Are you confident for that one now?
To be honest, the one I keep going to this fact, but the one man you want in that dressing room before the players go out is Jose. He's done it so many times. Like that's the player you want. That's the coach you want even. So although City are high flying, I can't say I'm confident because it's City, but I can sit here and say I believe that man has done it so many times. I just hope he can do it with Tottenham.
Definitely. Thomas says 2-1 Everton or Tottenham, so it's basically 1-1. But I said someone will probably nick it. I quite agree with you, Thomas. I think it will be quite a quiet game at the start, you know.
That's what I mean. Nobody wants to put a foot wrong, I feel.
No,
And I feel that's a vibe from both teams as well.
definitely. And I just think us two need a trophy desperately. And I haven't seen Everton lift a trophy since, I know, I hate the red shite singing it since 1995. They've got a song for it.
Oh wow!
Is Tottenham, has Arsenal got a song for you?
God knows, they've probably got all of the songs under the sun, to be honest. I mean, we're the one club that they banter all the time. Like, we've got a nice new stadium, we've got Kane, we've got Sonny, but have we got anything to stick in that trophy cabinet? No. So, I don't know. I feel like this has got to be the season. Even if it's an FA Cup or a Carabao Cup, we'll still get bantered for saying, oh, it's only this, it's only that. But it'd be nice to actually stick one in there.
Yeah, same as Everton. So do you think with your lineup, I think it was quite strong to be fair, do you think you'll go all out through the rounds?
I think for me, I think it's easier for Jose to say get to a final because he's done it before, but also because there's less games. The Premier League is like the long horse race. And that's the thing. And I think right now, I think Cups is in the forefront of his mind because, like I said, it's easier to get to a cup final in a sense that you've got to play less games. And I think with our run of fixtures at the moment, I feel like we've got to go all out because I also feel if we beat you on Wednesday, we'll set up good against City. And I think it's the same with you. If you beat us,
City next.
That's what I mean. That's what I'm saying. So I feel like whoever wins this game is going to go into the next game that's tough for both of us with a lot of momentum. That's the thing. And I think it very much hangs in the balance. And like I said, Tottenham need a trophy and I'd rather try and get into 2 finals than say 1 final.
Quite agree. So Everton's fixtures as follows. We've got Hughes tomorrow. We've got Fulham. We've got City. And then 3 days after City, we've got Liverpool. So I don't want to say it. I think Fulham, we'll probably beat them, but we said that against Newcastle and we got beat 2-0. I think if we win this game, it's vital for Everton because we haven't won a trophy since 1995. And did you win the Carling Cup in 2008?
Yeah.
So it's been a long time coming, hasn't it?
Unless you take the Audi Cup, but we take that as banner.
When was that, like 2 years ago or last year?
Yeah, 2018, I believe. I even know the date, I think. 2018, 2019, one of the two.
Have you got that in the cabinet or is that just...
Well, I think it's got to go in the cabinet because there's nothing else in there.
Yeah. So, have you got anything else to say?
Not really, apart from I think it'd be a good game to definitely watch for the neutral. I think for both of us, it's going to be the complete opposite because of all the things that are riding on it.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you a question. Do you think you'll put out your best side against us? Or do you reckon it'll be a weaker side because of the games you've got coming up?
I think we'll have a strong lineup for the simple reason, well, Alan is not playing. To be fair, I wouldn't put him straight away if he was fit anyway, because we've got the likes of Liverpool, City coming up, and they're all close together.
Yeah.
So we've got Fulham on the Saturday, we've got City on like a weekday, then we've got Liverpool on the Saturday. So they're all like 3-4 days apart. So I think it's quite good Alan to be out for this game, and so I think it'll be a strong lineup to actually beat Hughes. So, what's your situation on Eric Dyer and Davidson Sanchez? That's my last question for you because I know
Oh,
you absolutely hate.
yeah,
But
I do.
like, why would you pick Dyer?
Why would I pick Dyer? I think it's more of a fact that Jose likes him as a favourite. So it's more of the fact that I've just had to grow to like it. For me, I still don't think to this day, I didn't like him as a CDM. I really don't like him as a centre back. I just think his thought processes of where he decides to stand. Like there's instances in games where he kind of turns into a CDM again because they pull out of his back line and decide to try and win the ball high up the pitch. And you're thinking to yourself, mate, you're playing centre back. You're not playing CDM now. And I think maybe that's Jose's doing because he's kind of coasted him to be a centre back. But I don't know. I think it's just thought processes all over the place. And I think with Sanchez as well, I've never really rated Sanchez apart from his obviously first season with us because he had so much quality with him and the fact that I thought he was going to go places, but it's just kind of dropped off and I don't know where it's gone. I feel like the pace is the only thing that's good with him. But apart from that, like I don't know. I just think in the summer we really need to shift out the deadwood and actually sign some quality. And I think the back four is something we've really got to look at because Toby's getting on now, and I think Toby's the only commanding presence we have at the back. So it's just going to have to be a massive haul out of.
Here's a last. Honestly, this is the last question, and then I'll answer for you as a Everton perspective. Who do you need in the summer?
Oh, God, get your paper ready because there's a list. I think it's got to it's got to be a centre back. I'd love to have two, but I don't think that's going to happen. I'd also love another midfielder that's creative because we've got this Delhi situation at the moment, and I feel like the trouble is with Jose, we know he doesn't stay at a club for too long. And for me at the moment, I feel like Delhi's got a massive chip on his shoulder. And I feel like he's had a chip on his shoulder ever since the move from MK. I feel like it's always been with him. So I feel like we need another creative midfielder to come in because I don't think Tottenham will let Delhi go, especially if Delhi isn't playing because his market value, even though he's English, will not be at the height it should be. So I would love another creative midfielder to come in. And above all, I just want Deadwood gone. There's so many players in this club that I don't feel are good enough for Tottenham. Not where we should be anyway. This club is riddled with Deadwood. And Lamela is the prime example of that. We've had him for so long and he hasn't been moved on. So I think that's something that has to happen in the summer.
Yeah, so for Everton in the summer, I think we definitely need a right back. I think we should play Godfrey and Keane centre halves, and then I think we should get like a Max Aarons or Lamptey because we were linked with them in the last summer. And I just think we just need a right back. I think Coleman he's had his days, to be fair. He's been quality for the last decade, even with Leighton Baines. But I just think Coleman, that's it. It's done for him. And I think I start Ben Godfrey in his position and leave Holgate out for Mina. It's the simple reason pace to get back. And if he can get forward as well, Godfrey's rapid when he gets off. You'll see that tomorrow. So I just want a right back. And the right back, I think we need a goalkeeper. I think if Olsen signs a 6 million, I think we don't need one. But maybe in the future, I wanted Donnarumma as a free, but he signed a contract, so we can't get him. I think we need maybe a midfielder. So I think we should send Tom Davis out on loan. I think we should have done that like 3 seasons ago, out on loan to the Championship side. But I think he's been playing well recently under Carlo. I just think we need a midfielder who can support Hammers because Hammers can't be creating all by himself. It's got to be someone like a Son and a Kane. And if you leave one of them out, team's dead. So score predictions. I know it's instead of saying score predictions, who's your scorers for the game?
I mean, I think Sonny will get one just purely on the fact that I think Kane will set him up. I mean, then if we say we get the next one, you kind of look like we're going to win 2-1. So I think rather than saying who's going to be the 2 goal scorers, because I just don't know what's going to happen. I think Sonny or Kane are definitely going to get one, if you know what I mean. It'll be between those two, but like I said, I still can't call it. I don't know what's going to happen.
I think it'll be a tough game, you know. I think it will go right down to the wire. And so, like the Wickham game, did you play Wickham? Yeah, that went down to the wire. How many goals did you score in 90th minute or 88th?
Oh, I think it was 2 or 3. Literally, the floodgates opened. It took so long to actually manage to find the back of the net, and when we did, that was it. So, yeah, it was crazy.
I'm excitingly nervous for this game because I think we could beat you, but on the other side of it, thinking about our home form isn't great. And I just think Everton needs a cup desperately. It's the same to Tottenham. We won the African Cup 3 years ago. That's what we can take as pride. That's the only trophy, the African Cup. Like when we were sponsored by Sport Pezza, we won the African Cup 3 years ago. And
it's like the Audi Cup then.
That's top class to have in the cabinet. That's not history and history making. We need a proper trophy, us two really. So thank you for joining me, Hollie.
Oh, cheers. Thank you. I really enjoyed it.
Make sure you enter in the giveaway before tomorrow, because after the Tottenham game, or I don't know what time we're going to expire it, but honestly, we're going to give away a home ship because we hit 5k Instagram followers on Instagram. 5k, which is amazing. Thank you. We've got 5 people watching on YouTube. There was like 15 before, which is amazing. Everyone give Hollie a follow on her socials, which I will show you now. If I can share screen. I've been learning this, you know. So that's her Twitter. And if you go on YouTube, she has hit 700 subscribers. How mad's that, Hollie?
That is pretty mad, to be honest. How
long have you been doing YouTube?
Oh, a long time. I think I started it. So I did Twitch before, and then I got a job. So it must have been, I think it was September I started this. So it's been quite a journey, but you've got to enjoy it to do it. So that's the main thing.
Definitely. Obviously, Hollie is going to be doing a watch along with Mike, and I will be dropping in to send a message. And I do love Mike. I think he's top quality. I think you'll love it, you know. But I think the jokes, I'm going to try and listen, but like I'm trying to do my own watch along. So that's the thing, like you said, about content creators, if you know what I mean. You get along with each other really well. So hopefully you can join for the watch along, everyone who is viewing this right now, and follow Hollie on all of her socials. So thank you everyone for joining this live, which will be turned into a video. So I will see you later. Up the toffees.